Wasn't always this sex god you see before you, the apex of raw sexual energy. In fact, I actually came into this world a virgin. I was born with virginity. My father, he wasn't a virgin, and yet, embarrassingly, I was. And it stayed that way for 19 years, until in the spring break of my 19th year in this plane of existence, it all changed when my wiener nation landed on the shores of a vagina nation. Consensually, of course. It was an invite for the wiener nation to make landfall. At 2013 years after the death of Christ, I had finally lost my virginity. Like a crab shedding its shell, I molted. But what did I do up until that point? Well, I've already shared with you a little bit of my freshman year of college where I pretended to be a mysterious anime character, but this arc doesn't stop there. I used to think it was cool and unique to be a virgin in college, so I used to wear it like a fucking Boy Scouts badge of honor. You know, I would talk about my virginity to any female that made the mistake of listening. It was one of the first things I'd do. I'd basically fucking shake a hand and say, I'm a virgin. You're shaking a virgin's hand, which is probably the grossest hand you could ever shake. Because you know that shit is crusty. If these hands could talk, well, if this hand could talk, the stories it would tell you. So, but anyway, I thought because everyone else wasn't a virgin in college, at least none of my friends were, I was one of the I was the last one to lose their virginity in my group of friends, I thought it'd make me stand out. I thought it'd be like, wow, that guy's a virgin? Holy shit. I didn't even know this existed in this college anymore. Damn, that's exotic, I gotta get in there. It wasn't the case, in fact, it was just super creepy. But I wouldn't listen to my friends. One of my friends sat me down as like a fucking intervention. He was like, Charlie, look, you gotta stop telling people you're a virgin. It's weird and it's not gonna work. But I didn't believe him. I thought he was working with like the Illuminati trying to restrict my power. But today I look back on that and I see he was a fucking saint. He knew what I didn't. How creepy that was. I was like a fucking vegan. I wouldn't shut the fuck up about being a virgin. Like in parties and shit, if I'd been drinking, you know the virginity talk was coming. I was like a parent giving the birds and the bees talk to their children. And God help the poor women that talked to me when I was drunk and talking about virginity, because sometimes I'd talk about it in different accents. Sometimes I'd be an Irish virgin, other times a Russian virgin. I thought it would be something different and cool. And I acted like I was proud of it. You know, I've held on to my virginity this long. Fuck yeah, baby, this one's for Jesus Christ up there. But I wasn't proud of it, and I knew Jesus wasn't proud of my virginity either, nor my attempt to spit the game at the parties by talking about virginity. That was never gonna work. But it didn't stop me. You see, this all took place around the time that I got my main lead acting role in the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. I've already shared that story with you. So when I used to meet these women at parties and shit, I would have this 1-2 combo. Hey, I'm in the Hunger Games, and I'm a virgin. That's a fucking irresistible man right there. That right there is a recipe for an Adonis. And let me tell you what, that didn't help very much. But I used to have the Mockingjay trailer on my phone, and I'd show the trailer if they were unfamiliar and just pretend that I was in it, and I wouldn't go back to show them. I'd just be like, oh, there I am. Oh, I was quick, you missed it. I must have tried this combination move 100 times. Like a Japanese bladesmith, I'd keep folding it over, smashing it down, making it sharper, better, refining it, until finally it worked one time. I met a girl at a party, we talked, we made out, exchanged numbers, and we're going to get together for a date. Date comes around and you can already guess the conversational topics. Hey, what's your major? Where are you from? Are you a virgin? No? Why not? I am. Bang. Game over. There's no coming back from that kind of shit. I don't know why the fuck I just felt this compulsive desire to constantly talk about it. It's really not like it was a crowning achievement, and not even to me. I constantly wanted to lose my virginity, and yet I'd constantly hype it up like it was the best part of me. It's just wild shit, and you know, it taught me a hard lesson. That's pretty much when I learned the most important lesson. Stop bragging about virginity. This desire to be unique between being an anime character in college, the fucking mysterious anime character, to being a virgin fucking evangelist constantly preaching the good word of virginity. This desire to be unique really fucked me and hindered me very much in my early formative college years. Also, during this time I had a friend that was a female. I very much liked her. We were friends for like a year. The feelings weren't mutual. I was very into her. She had none of those same feelings for me, but it didn't stop me from telling her that I was saving my virginity for her. How noble. They say chivalry's dead, but yeah, I used to tell her that my virginity is going to be hers for the taking. That had to be the last fucking thing on her Christmas list every goddamn year. it must have been the scariest and most alarming thing someone could tell you like that. And it wasn't just like a one or two time fluke thing where I mentioned that by accident. No, I told her that shit like all the time. If we texted, it'd be like a lullaby for me. You know, I'm going to bed now. Do you want to kiss my virginity to sleep with your pussy lips? No? Alright, just keep in mind I'm a virgin when you go to sleep tonight. Have dreams about my virginity. It's something I mentioned frequently because I really thought, in my fucking delusion, that being a virgin and being unique like that was cool and not weird. You know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe nowadays things have changed and being a virgin's the coolest goddamn thing in the world next to pissing in your pants. But back then it certainly wasn't, and definitely not my approach of mentioning it all the fucking time. I think you could be the coolest man in the world, but if you keep mentioning the same shit over and over again, it's gonna make you look like a fucking weirdo. Actually, let me hit you with a fun trivia fact for when you play Critical Jeopardy with your family. The girl I'm talking about in this story here is actually the reason I kept the beard. You see, for the Hunger Games role I got, they asked that you grow out your facial hair, which I'd never even considered doing before. I'd always been clean shaven. I looked like an 8th grader in debate club. But when I grew it out for that role, she said it looked good, so I kept it, and I never looked back. And now if I shaved it, I'm sure I'd look like a bag of assholes collided with another bag of assholes. So yeah, I guess gloating about virginity wasn't all bad. But trust me, it was all bad. If there's any lesson to take away here from my experience for all of you watching, it would be, don't use like a defining characteristic and shove it down people's throats. Don't try and force people into thinking you are special or unique. Just be yourself, and if they view you as special or unique, great. If they don't, who gives a shit? The two that come to mind right away are vegan and atheist, where people constantly mention those two things that they're associated with that. At least that's the big meme on the internet, and I've only seen it in real life a couple of times, so I don't know how prevalent that is. But just going around and saying things like, I'm a vegan, I'm an atheist, I'm a virgin, and constantly bringing those things up and calling attention to it just makes people not want to be around you. It's a pretty toxic social environment when you're just constantly talking about what you think makes you unique and special. That would be kind of the takeaway from this virginity bragging story, I'd say. Yeah, that's about it. See ya. Yeah, that title's not clickbait. In fact, it's underselling it. We're not just making a porno. We're making like the Homer's Odyssey of porn. The fucking Citizen's Kane of adult films. Throw out everything you think you know about fucking, because we're reinventing what it even means. So, to give you a little overview, I've talked about it during the streams at twitch.tv/moistcritical. A couple months ago, I got approached by a massive porn company about writing a full-length, massive budget porn production for them. Of course, this offer piqued my interest. However, there's a lot of bad things that go on in the porn industry for some of these companies, a lot of sketchy shit, especially when it comes to the treatment of some of the performers, and I wanted to ensure that this company didn't have any of those problems, so I did some extensive research on the company, and from everything I found, the company just has a great reputation. The performers love to work with the company. No one's ever had anything negative to say about an experience they've had while working with them, and they're just a well-respected company in the field. It also has multiple arms, all of which are dedicated to improving the porn norms and conditions for a lot of the performers, so the company is actively out there trying to improve the atmosphere and perception of porn. So I felt, given this track record, they've earned a script from Genghis Swan. So let me make it clear, we are only writing this show for them. We have it written as 4 episodes, but we're only writing it. We're not actually going to be on set directing or anything like that. But it is myself, Jackson, Matt, and Danny working on this. We've pretty much finished the script, and we've submitted the first episode, which has been approved. They enjoyed it. But due to coronavirus, even the porn industry is locked down, so there truly is no industry that's unaffected by coronavirus. So I don't know when it's going to get made, if it's even going to get made this year or anything. So I thought it'd be fun just to show you the first writing session Jackson and I had while working on this. It's important to note, we're not using any of the ideas you see here, and it's going to be pretty obvious why, because they're pretty shit ideas. But I thought it'd be fun just to give you a little taste of what's cooking up in the laboratory over here. Writer's Room, February 3rd, 2020, first session of the Creative Geniuses.
Hey.
I will say right off the bat, the working title of The Fucking at Rock Hard Manor, I think might be a bit too on the nose. I'm thinking something a little more artsy. I think we need to be thinking James Bond, you know, like condoms are forever, or fuck another day, you know?
The Fucking at Rock Hard Manor is great, like, wordplay on the genre, though. It's like the murder at Mount.
It's not wordplay by replacing murder with fucking.
That is genuinely what wordplay is.
Well, yeah, for like a 4th grade English class, perhaps.
It's so
We
good
can do
that Rock
better.
Hard Manor is. Ugh. Well, all right. Well, what?
The title is extremely important, Jackson. Think about Deep Throat. What if it wasn't called Deep Throat? What if it was just called Gagging on a Dick? It wouldn't have been nearly as impactful. You need a good title.
What's that one that's on Murder on the Orient Express? That's
Mm-hmm.
the exact same title that I've got.
We could call sticking in this vein, we could call it The Murder of Cats. And you see what it's getting at? Pussy. You get it?
That's so awful. That is just that is downright awful. No one's gonna click on a video called "The Murderer of Cats." What is wrong with you, you sociopath?
We'll keep that one on ice. We'll come back to it. So this is Detective Mike Mitchell, a middle-aged Caucasian male ace detective who leaves no stone unturned, disgraced from the force after he fucked the mayor's daughter after solving the case of her husband's death. That might be kind of tough. I still think we need a supernatural element where, like,
What?
yeah, like maybe they use the used condom on the floor, and at the end they like use it like an elixir and pour it into the dead man's mouth, and it brings him back, or like an orgy seance brings him back to life.
I do like that. I really like the idea of bringing back Shock Rock Hard as a character.
We should have like a private military contract group in here somewhere, like hunting Mitchell. But ultimately, what is the goal? What does Shock Rockhard want?
Well, that's yeah. Now we can't do the inheritance thing because obviously he's still alive in this scenario. So what does he want?
I really think it should all just be like a giant ploy to see who was cheating on him or something.
But they're all cheating on him. That would imply that he's in a relationship with all of them if they were to cheat on him. Even old Colonel Matthew Gillespie, his old wartime buddy, has been cheating on him.
That wouldn't make any sense. Why would Colonel Matthew Gillespie be cheating on him? Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a cop out, but I think it might work a little bit better. Like maybe we go scary stories to tell in the dark style, where like the manor is placed upon an Indian burial ground, and they've been all stricken with a curse, and it's all like the curse revolves around sex in some way. So Shock Rockhard has succumbed to the curse, and then Mike Mitchell's piecing everything together.
To sex, like what kind of clue do you leave behind? Usually in sex, it's only ever really condoms. So would there just be condoms walking around in each room? Detective Mitchell has like a force power where he touches the condom and he like has a force vision of the fucking.
That's not a bad idea. I like that. Yeah. His eyes roll into the back of his head. Camera pans into his skull. Maybe we could do something with Dr. Zachariah Good Sensation, a middle-aged to explain for the behind the scenes. Dr. Zachariah Good Sensation is a middle-aged scientist on the verge of a scientific breakthrough. He has been testing a hypothesis that ensures explosive female orgasms. Perhaps this event was the perfect place to test his theory, or perhaps he's being framed by someone who wishes to discredit his work. Only time in that used
I don't
condom
remember
will
writing any of this at all. I realized though, or perhaps he's being framed by someone who wishes to discredit his work. How does that discredit his work leaving behind a condom? His whole work is based around orgasms, and they leave behind a condom that proves
Maybe it's an empty condom, so there was no fluid.
that is perfect. Oh, that could be a whole like. Well, Detective Mike Mitchell examines the condom and realizes that there's no cum on it.
A real crack shot. I think we're all set on the idea that he gets the mysterious envelope, he takes the job, he comes to Rock Hard Manor, power's gone out, and a mysterious condom is on the floor. I think that is a strong start. Shock Rockvein has an open casket, so we can see Shock the whole. Well,
Oh,
perhaps maybe not. Maybe. I don't know. I still like kind of one of the ideas I tossed around where Mike Mitchell is Shock Rockhard, and that could be like a big gotcha to the audience.
but it just doesn't make sense because all of these characters know Shock Rockhards. They would recognize him.
He could be wearing a disguise, or perhaps like he disfigured his face on purpose, or like a polyjuice potion. So they're at the will reading. Shock Rockhard's open casket. Mike Mitchell has rolled.
Open. All right, all right. Open casket, but only from the cock down. How about that? It's just the bottom half is open. We never see who's in the top half.
That's a that's it's a great idea.
It's of no benefit, but I like it.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah, just an open cock casket. Write that down. Yeah, that's going to be important.
It's how he would want to be remembered.
Yeah, I think it might be. What if we just give Mike Mitchell superpowers?
When he's erect, he has to have a boner to be able to have that kind of power. So Melanie's always kind of following him around and.
Ooh, that's it.
offering
Yeah, that's a
such
really good
dick.
idea. Like, it has an activation cost. Like, he can see the events of things he touches, but only when he's erect. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So Melanie Grimes understands that. She's the one. He's never had these visions before. It's only here, and she knows how to activate it. So that's how we figure.
Well, it could be well known because then everyone could fuck him. Like, I need you to see the past of my 1914 Budweiser can, says Madame Giselle Rockhard. He says, ma'am, you know I can't do that unless I'm properly stimulated. And then they fuck. And then
yes, I love it.
yeah,
Yes.
and then as
Okay.
he's climaxing, Giselle Rockhard tosses the Budweiser can, he catches it, and then we get a vision. Yeah, so for Miss Penny Traction, a middle-aged French teacher with deep sexual fantasies, she was the secret lover of Madame Tootie Rockhard's deceased husband.
I think for like 5 minutes, I had Giselle Rockhard's name as Tootie for some reason. It's just the first name that jumped to my head, but I changed it. Do you prefer Tootie or Giselle?
I like Tootie a lot.
Alright, well, it's Tootie now. But then Mike goes around the entire house fucking everyone to see the vision. So,
Okay, how about this? In the will, as they're reading the will, like they get through the whole thing, and he very fairly divides his entire fortune among everyone present, but only on the condition that they haven't had sex on the night of his funeral. And that's why that condom is so shocking.
maybe it's based around Colonel Gillespie somehow. We can fit him in here. He's Shock Rockhard's trying to get the word out that war crimes were committed by Matthew Gillespie. Oh my god. An hour and our only notes have been DNA test reveals ancestry between Shock Rockhard and Detective Mitchell. Indian burial ground. Curse revolves around sex. Shock Rockhard succumbs to the curse. Casket is open from cock down. Mike Mitchell can only see visions if he is hard. How do we fucking tie this all together?
It's like a Marvel comic. Maybe we just take one of these characters. I think we have a lot of potential with Dr. Zachariah Good Sensation. Maybe we make him set up as like the Thanos of our universe. So you have all of these characters getting together, and they're going to stop Zachariah Good Sensation's technology because it will replace men.
Oh, I like that. It's like the Avengers of fucking.
Mm-hmm.
The lights go off. It's a normal party. Shock Rockhard's there, all happy and alive. The lights go off, and when the lights come back on, he's on the ground covered in cum. He's been fucked. He's comatose. Detective Mike Mitchell has to come and figure out who fucked him to almost death.
Yeah, the lights are off. You just hear like this euphoric moan and a collapse.
He's fine 1 second, the lights go out. And when it comes back on, this old man's been fucked into a coma on the floor.
A big smile on his face.
Yeah.
No, I like the idea of he was already on his way to the party because he had gotten a mysterious envelope about it. Like, I'm gonna fuck
Yeah.
Shock rock hard.
Wait, he's gonna fuck him?
No, no, no. Like the envelope. That's what the message said.
All right. So the letter said, "I'm gonna fuck Shock Rockard, and you need to find out who I am." Oh no, it's Shock Rockard. It's Shock Rockard's letter to him saying, "Help! I'm probably going to be fucked. I need help figuring out who's trying to fuck me."
It's been a little while since I've told this story, so go ahead and hop on my lap here by the fireplace and I'll tell you a tale. As is common with most of my stories I've told on the channel, this takes place during the period of my life where I thought it was cool to be a mysterious anime character. This was like my early years of college. As you can probably imagine, my ability to socialize during this time was absolutely pathetic. Having a conversation with a magic 8-ball would have been more fun and engaging than talking to me back then. Those poor souls that talked to me back then probably instantly regretted it because having a conversation with old Charlie was like talking to Alexa if she was overdosing on Xanax. It was rough. Why is this important though? Because this is setting the stage for one story I haven't told yet. I've told so many stories when it comes to all of the fucking weird and creepy interactions I've had with women. All my fault, of course, just because I was so unbelievably socially inept. Like, it's hard to put into words how bad I was at recognizing social cues and how to be, like, acceptable in society. I fucking bought one of those fake cigarettes one time. You know that shit that kids would buy from Spencer's when they were like 12? I bought one of those things when I was 18 because I thought it looked cool and I hated real cigarettes. You know how fucking sad that is? I'm surprised I didn't buy one of those colorful propeller hats and started spinning it to try and look cool or something. It was rough. So what I'm saying is, socially, I was the worst thing you could fucking imagine. But it didn't stop me from trying to have conversations with women. I tried to fake confidence, fake it to make it, and all of that shit. And today's story will be in that ballpark. So this story takes place in a location where all good social interactions take place, at GameStop. So let me take you back to the past when my social interactions sucked ass. This is GameStop 2012, 2011, somewhere in that ballpark. I was, of course, Virgin Boy Charlie, if you can even believe that. Some say I lost my virginity before my dad, but the truth is, I was actually a virgin, embarrassingly enough. And I was doing what all virgins did, using Reddit for some advice. And Reddit is one of the worst places when it comes to seduction and just general advice when it comes to human interaction because it's the blind leading the blind. The people giving that advice, they have likely never talked to a human being before. They're probably getting all of their social cues the same place I was. Fucking anime. So I was using anime and r slash relationship or something. I don't remember what subreddit. And these two things were clashing, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take both of these, do like a little unholy fusion dance, and become this ultra Chad, the product of great advice and great animation. And I was going to channel this and show that, you know, I'm becoming more confident in myself by flirting with girls in public. And I chose my first rodeo to be at GameStop. Before going to GameStop, I had decided that I was going to march into GameStop, right up to the counter to the girl that worked there and call her beautiful right to her face. I was going to look her in the eyes. I was going to say, ma'am, you are fucking beautiful. You are gorgeous. I don't know what I expected to happen next because I didn't have a follow-up. Maybe I was fantasizing like one of those dream scenes where all of a sudden, like an anime, the girl blushes and then she calls out her 3 twin sisters or something, and they all fall in love with me. I don't know. But that was my game plan. And I was hyping myself up. I was like a football player in the locker room before the championship game, headbutting lockers. I put on a necklace, and I never wear a necklace. I found like this old gold necklace from probably when I was a kid, but my neck is still the same size as a kid's, so it still fit. I spiked my hair up real well, fucking drowned it in gel, and I mean drowned it in gel. I looked like a freshly born baby covered in amniotic fluid up there, and I felt like $1,000,000. Today was the day I was going to say to a girl, she is beautiful. So I hop into my Batmobile and I cruise on over to GameStop. I get to the door, I open it, and it's like everything else just melted around me. Time froze, and there she was, behind the desk, the only female employee at this particular GameStop, and she looked miserable. Probably because she's working at a fucking GameStop, but I was gonna make her day better by being the only man in GameStop history with the confidence to say that she was beautiful. You know, I'm sure she doesn't hear that every day from other socially inept fucking slime balls, so I was going to be the first, the trendsetter. Truly a pioneer. So I meandered around a little bit, just making sure I was building up enough confidence, going over the lines in my head. The line I was going to use was when she was done ringing me up, I was going to say, "Thank you, beautiful. and then wait to see her response, see what she says to this, hoping that she wouldn't call the police or have security come tackle me. So, I finally pick out a game, some used game, I'm sure, because I was big into used games for a long time. I slam that shit on the counter because I'm ready. She starts by asking me a couple questions. Am I a member of GameStop Power Plus Ultra program? Well, no, I'm not. She's going off script. I wasn't accounting for this. It's freeform now. The dialogue has been all fucked up. I'm getting a little jumbled in my head. I'm getting nervous. I wasn't expecting to be interrogated by her today. I'm not a member of this GameStop program. Would I like to be? Well, shit, would it help my chances with you? I don't know. I'm going through all kinds of scenarios in my head. It's like a visual novel. There's a bunch of different branching paths I could choose from. I'm panicking. I'm breaking down a bit. My composure is starting to falter. There's sweat on my brow and a tickle in my sack. I was not prepared for this at all. She then asked me, do I want my receipt? Another question I wasn't anticipating. Do I say, thank you, beautiful, now? No, that wouldn't make sense because she asked me a question. I can't just respond with a... I have to answer the question. Everything's all falling apart at once. It's like Salvador Dali's painting where the clocks are melting. I'm running out of time. I don't know when to say this line. And no, I don't really want this receipt. What am I going to do? Wipe my ass with it? I paid $3 for some garbage used game. I tell her, no, thank you, you keep the receipt. And that's when she says it. A sentence that could dampen the pants of any man, even the strongest men. She says, thank you for shopping at GameStop. I freeze. I don't know how to respond. I stand there for what feels like hours, looking at the ground, wondering, is now the time? And then I decide I muster the courage within myself, the strength to go forward. I say, thank you, beautiful. I'm still looking at the ground when I say this, because I haven't earned the right to look my GameStop queen in the eyes yet. And then I do what any sane man would do. I ran away. I fucking jogged away. Before she could even, actually respond, I started jogging away with the bag in my hand like I just stole the game from GameStop. But I did hear her say, oh. I know for a fact she said, oh, as I turned my back to run away. I ran all the way to my car, hearing that oh in my head the entire way there, got in, slammed the door, and I thought to myself, Charlie, you did it. We just made that employee extremely uncomfortable, and man, do I feel like shit about it. It was a good lesson to learn. That was probably already like the 5th or 6th time that lady had been hit on that day by fucking weirdos like me. She probably just up and quit that day. That was probably the last straw right there. I don't know, because I never went back. I was just so goddamn embarrassed about this whole thing, but I do imagine she quit that day. But yeah, I tell you this story in the hopes that people will learn from it. Don't make the same mistakes I did. Don't be a fucking weirdo, and don't, yeah, that's basically it, really. That's about it.